welcome to another episode of Voices of Hult. Today, it's not a regular episode. We're giving you some Boston campus updates to start super fresh and with a lot of good vibes and to keep you on what's going on here at the Boston campus for this new fresh start of fall 2024. We got Joanna here, our president of the Boston campus Voices of Hult.
Happy to be here.
And me, your vice president. And, we just want to share a little bit about what's going on around to start with, the best vibes going on.
To see entering the new year in the best way possible.
How excited are you, Joe? Joe is almost graduating. She's leaving me.
Yeah, in December. I'm very excited to be back though and seeing everyone back on campus. So that's very fun. And a lot of the new changes too that we're gonna mention in this little short episode. So one of the major ones are actually that we have a new dean for the undergraduates. We're saying goodbye to Dean Mo, but he's still on campus. He's still gonna be a professor. So that's, at least I'm very happy about that. And we're welcoming Dean Monique, which was a dean in London before. So that's going to be very interesting to see how things are changing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that we have a woman in charge, which is very exciting now. We're going to miss Dean Mo so much, but at least we're going to have him around here on campus. And we love when he teaches. He is a great professor. Mm-hmm. If you haven't got to know him, we invite you to look at the episode we did on him. It was so fun. And he's not just a great professor, but also a great person to have around and super funny.
Yeah, I'm very happy he's still around on campus. But if you already miss him, then you can check out that episode. Another update that we have is that we have a new batch of master students. So since they're doing only 1 year master degrees here at Hult, then each year we get a new people. So it's like a flow of a lot of people. I think it's like almost 800 people that's coming in just in the masters that's new. So that's going to be very exciting and fun for us too to talk to them, get to know them through clubs and other events on campus.
And I love when they come because, they are much older than us most of the time, that the undergrads. So they are most experienced. They have experience in different fields. They've done, if they haven't worked, at least they've done a different internship. So they have a lot to share with us, the undergrads. And I love how the community in Hult tries to mingle in a lot of the events and activities, the community of the masters and the undergrads, so that we can get to, those experiences. I have a lot of friends that were masters and that are now, out in the world, and tomorrow are going to be good network connections and just good people to have around. So even though they're here for a year, that year counts a lot, and you make a lot of meaningful friendship and connections.
Exactly. I think that's one of the benefits of the Boston campus, that we are undergrad and postgrad on the same campus. In the same building, so we're have easy access to each other, I guess you could say. Definitely.
Also is that we have a new batch of undergraduates. Our fall 2024 graduates, most of them will be graduating in 3 or 4 years, so we do have them here to stick around for a little more. I was an orientation leader for them, so I was with them for the first week for Hult Expedition, and it was amazing. It's it's a big batch, almost 200 students, which is kind of a lot. And we're going to have a lot of new faces here, freshen up faces. And it's just nice to be around older, the masters, who are a lot more experienced, and just younger people that just came out of high school and that are trying to seek advice. And we're trying to give them that, and we can grow together. That is really nice how we can mix both worlds.
Yeah. And that was a really cool orientation week too that you were a part of. You guys did so much stuff.
Yeah, I think this orientation week was designed. We worked so hard on designing this as an adventure and something that was most student led. We wanted them to be part of what we were doing every time, and everything came from within a great team of students with the help of amazing people in the staff. So it was great, and I think they enjoyed it very much. I still think about it today. I think those 6 days went by, 6 days, 4 days, because we didn't have Monday because it was Labor Day. So 4 days went by super, super fast.
Yeah, it was crazy. But it was fun seeing it coming alive because I was here all summer working, so I saw the process of everyone working on it, and then it's coming alive. So that was really, really cool. Another thing that's new on campus is the food situation. And I guess new people coming in are not going to be aware of how it was before, but we did have a cafeteria in Hult House that now they're going to rearrange to a little bit of, what do they call it?
Like a little market.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a market.
It's going to be interesting. And then you have the cafeteria in Little Lingo, which is in the bottom of Hult Center, where it was before you and me arrived to campus.
Yes, but now it's not Little Lingo. Now it's
1965.
1965, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have, a little changes going around. For us, it's like new stuff. We're like, okay, I still don't know the schedule and whatever. Yeah. We're trying to get used to it, but at least the new batch doesn't have to get used to it because it's all they know. So,
that's very true.
but changes are good. I think we're facing those changes, and they bring good stuff.
And I think this change was for the better, like so far at least, because now there's food all through the day. And it's more easily acceptable because it's not in Hult House. So we'll see how it goes. And if it's bad, then I guess we might change it back,
Exactly. I like that about Hult. They are not scared of changing stuff around because the world is in constant change, especially in the business world. Mm-hmm. And that's what they chose. Like, I remember when we started stuff with our professors, they were changing our courses because they realized, like, oh, we didn't give you enough time for this. We thought it was going to take you 2 weeks. It's actually going to take you 3. It doesn't matter. We hear what you're saying, and we're not going to put limits and boundaries that will just get a student anxious instead of getting it to work properly. So that's what Hult does. Basically, just listens to the student body and the staff and just converts to whatever we're asking for. So I think the changes are going to be good. And, the constructive criticism was heard about whatever was happening at Clubhouse at the moment. Maybe the schedule that wasn't the best for student because they didn't have breakfast. Now we have breakfast some days and brunch down there at 1965. So good. Yeah. We're going to jump off to my favorite part, which is some recommendations that Joe and I think are like important for the new batch to come. If you're new to Boston and if you're one of the master students or one of the new undergraduate students, or maybe nobody gave you these recommendations and you're not new at all, but it's good to hear this out. I think it has helped us both in different ways. And we're just going to give you a few little tips and tricks that we recommend.
Exactly. And the first one is the library card. And this was something that my friend Tammy actually recommended to me because I never really understood the value of it, because I was like, okay, well, sure, I'll go to the library, but then I can just read a book there or something. But then I thought of the value of it because you can get in much discounted prices at different museums around Boston if you have the library card. And you could also, this is something that Daniela didn't know before this. Didn't know. That you can go for free to the aquarium, for example. You have to book in advance and etc. But you're able to go there for free. So that's really cool. And there's a bunch of these different things. So it's just...
That's amazing. And it's a money saving thing because the aquarium, it's not cheap at all. But I love the aquarium. I've been in the aquarium 3 times or 4 now because I love penguins. I love penguins, and they're full of penguins. Oh, so I love the aquarium.
But I'm going to go now because I got the library card and I'm going to go for free. So I'm going to go.
I'll go with you even if I have to pay. I love the aquarium. I really do. And it's the same thing. It's just that I just love seeing the penguins because I'm a penguins fan. I just love penguins. So another recommendation that I would definitely give is to download Eventbrite, which is an app. This app is, like the name says, for different events. You can have leisure events. So basically the app just makes you a few little questions about what are your specific interests. You can choose academic sites like AI, research, or maybe venture capital, private equity. Well, also you can choose other leisure activities. Maybe you like outdoors activities, romantic spots, stuff like that. If you're over 21, you can do something bar activities. Now in the summer, there are a lot of outdoors activities that are posted there. And I love the fact that even though some activities do have a price, it's such a low price. If you reserve on Eventbrite, they also have activities in around so many different universities. I've been to Northeastern, I've been to activities in BU, I've been to activities in Harvard, discovered all of those based on Eventbrite, most of the time for $0. Really good experiences. For Valentine's Day, for example, I was going to go, didn't go in the end because I was a little sick, but I was going to go to this cupcake making thing, was also free. There were other stuff like making cards for $10, stuff like that you can share with your friends as well. So it's definitely a recommendation, because sometimes it's just like, what am I supposed to do on my weekends, on my free weekends, or on my free time in Boston? Definitely check Eventbrite. You'll have a lot of stuff to do there.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, because a lot of things are happening on campus, and we're going to talk about that later too. But if you want to see Boston, if you want to see the area around and don't really know where to start, Eventbrite is perfect for that. Two other resources that's good for that too is Joyraft and the Boston Calendar. And both of them like list things that you could do. Like Joyraft is a little bit more like Eventbrite in my experience.
Yeah.
Like they have more
like an app
event things, and then the Boston Calendar is just like listing things that's going on. But all of these things are like amazing. Like I went to yoga last weekend like for free. And it was like at a very fancy hotel, and I don't think I would ever like go into that hotel otherwise, but now like I got to explore it. So.
And the co-founder of Boston Calendar and Joyraft, it's a Hult alumni from our master's program, so amazing. But Boston Calendar has a lot of followers. Follow them on Instagram. It's a really nice page, and it's just like, if you see it today, they made a post on, I don't know, like an outdoor cinema that is going on in the street. It's most of the time happening that same day, so you can go that same day, or they say, oh, it's for the whole week or every Sunday at this time. So it's really nice to have, you know, that kind of like context around. Sometimes it's just like they found a pop-up, or somebody can DM them, like, I found this, and they send it to you. If a new restaurant opens, they put it on Boston Calendar, and it has good rates and stuff like that. So definitely a good resource to have to go around Boston.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that is one of like a special recommendation, especially if you're a Hult student. Most of the time you are an international student, which means you are on an F1 visa, which means you do not have like an identification that it's American, like a federal ID or a driver's license. But you can definitely still get an identification that is American, so you don't have to go around with your passport as your identification, and that is a Massachusetts ID card. I have my Mass ID. You just have to go on the web and you look up Mass ID, you make your appointment. They'll list the few documents that you need. You also have to go to a Social Security Administration, so they can give you a rejection card for you to get your Massachusetts ID. But you get your Massachusetts ID right away. It's a very easy process, to be honest. The longest process is just to wait, because most of the time you get appointments like, 2-3 weeks or even a month after you're trying to get them. But it's like super easy. You get it on the mail. They take the picture the same day, and that serves as like an identification in the state and across the United States. So it's a state identification. That means that if you're traveling in state, for example, you can also use it. If you're traveling around in the United States, if you don't need your passport, it depends on where you're going, but most of the time if you have a federal ID, you don't. So getting a Massachusetts ID, it's a really nice thing for an international student, because if they like stopped you in the street for anything and they ask for identification and you show them the identification from your country, it's not really something that they can look up in the system, but they can look up your Massachusetts ID if you have it, or your passport. So if you don't have to hang around with your passport as your identification, get your Mass ID.
Yeah, because it could be very serious if you lose your passport, and especially with your F1 visa in there. So that's why it's good to
extremely
have a Mass ID.
serious. Extremely serious. If you lose your passport, you kind of be stuck here.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to the embassy and prove to them that you actually lost it. And it's a whole long process, and it's different for each countries. But it is a long process.
Yeah, I would say that it's worth it. But we're moving now from outside campus back to campus, right? And talking about things that you should do here on campus that we recommend. And one of them is getting involved, like we did here with Voices of Hult. Because honestly, I've met so many people and like learned so many things just by like joining clubs here. So that's something that I really, really recommend.
The click of business school is your networking. It's how many people you meet, and Boston is a perfect city for networking. Every place is good for networking. You can meet people everywhere. But here in Boston specifically, everybody's on the same page. So if you're interested in an industry that is succeeding here, it could be in the medical field, it could be private equity, venture capital, it could be the finance world, it could be real estate. Like a lot of things are happening, research, a lot of things is happening here in Boston, and you can grow your network so much. And that the best way to do that is getting involved in campus life, not just outside, but here in campus life you make so great connections inside the staff and outside. Sometimes you think, staff knows staff, but staff knows so many people. My coach has introduced me to a lot of connections outside that I've had like information interviews with, explore different career paths that I was interested in before, or others that I wasn't interested in and now I'm interested in. Thank you to those information sessions and stuff like that. So definitely, like Joe said, get involved in campus life, especially starting with joining clubs in society, and also joining, for example, the HSA, the Whole Student Association, that now would be looking for a lot of people, especially in the master's program. So if you're a master, get hands on deck to start with your campaign for the HSA. And I think they're still looking for cohorts assistant or something like that for the undergraduate HSA. So really good.
Yeah. If you have any questions about those specific things, you can reach out to them on Instagram. I think you could DM them probably. You
can DM them or look for them around campus. They're always here. So, and they're nice people. So definitely maybe do that. Something that I would say, and it's an advice that my coach gave me when I came, and I think that when I started broadening my mind, open mindset's one of the values that Hult definitely shares.
Yeah, growth mindset.
And growth mindset. And I think that do not make your circle small. Do not get used to only hanging around with people that look like you, talk like you, think like you. Basically, people that are from a culture that is the same as you or that looks a lot like you. I know we tend to do that because it's more comfortable. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't hang around with people like us. I have a lot of Dominican friends. Most of my friends are Latinos. I would be lying if I told you no. Most of my friends are Latinos, and my closest friends most of the time are Latinos, and they speak Spanish. We share similar cultures, but I've never closed my circle for that. I also have friends from all over the world. I have Lebanese friends, I have Swedish friends, I have friends from Norway, I have friends from Kazakhstan, Tunisia, like from all over the world. We are an international school, so try to make that worth it. Try to explore paths cultures that you've never been in before, taste food that you've never tasted before, listen to music that you've never listened to before, stories. Our childhood memories are so different when you come from different cultures. So definitely do not stick to just people that look or act like you. Try to, have a big international family.
Yeah,
so
that's one of the things I'm gonna miss the most, honestly, when I graduate in December, because it's such a unique bubble here. Like everyone's from all over the world, and the conversations we have in the classrooms when we work in teams, and everyone's from different countries or even continents. But then also in clubs, when you have one common interest, so maybe this Voices of Hult is our common interest, but then we have so many different backgrounds in the team that makes us come up with so interesting discussions, even though it's the same topic that we're interested in. So yeah, it's really, really cool.
Amazing. And so many different views of the world, because where you were raised affects on how you look at the world. So I love seeing, just student hanging around maybe in the first floor of Hult Point, and you see 5 students and you see all of them, you ask, they're all from a different part of the world. The introduction here, most of the time if you introduce to someone, you just say, hi, I'm Daniela, nice to meet you. Or if you're in another college, you say, hi, I'm Daniela, I'm a management major, nice to meet you. Here, you don't say that. You say, hi, I'm Daniela from the Dominican Republic. And everybody just says their name with where they're from, or as the first question you ask, because that's Hult essence. But the most important advice, and I think the last on my part, is have fun. enjoy this ride. This is going to be an amazing ride. If you're listening or watching to us and you're in your last year or in your junior year or in your sophomore year, it's okay. You still have time to enjoy, so you can still take this advice. Enjoy the ride because it goes by really fast, or not.
Yeah,
it does,
really
right?
does. Unfortunately, yeah. And I really agree with that too. And then also, don't be scared if you like feel homesick or anything like that too, because we're all like international. All of us are like from all over the world, and that's one of the things that like I love the most with Hult too, like the community. Because honestly, like all of us are just like
searching for a family.
Yeah, like we don't really have like a support system at first when we get here, and then we get friends and like the coaches and everything, and that like we build our support system, so we become each other's like families here, which is very, very unique. And everyone's going through it, you know, like everyone's gonna miss their families every once in a while. So if you ever feel that way, like talk to your coach or talk to us. Like we're very happy to like listen to it and help out because we've been there ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the first time. So thank you very much for watching this episode or listening to it. It's always a pleasure.
Indeed.
And see you soon.
Yeah, we hope you see you around campus. Bye.